Hi there, this is Joanna, JCLady from the channel JCLady Alternative Education, and today, as in the previous videos, we are going to talk about Polish, because this is the example of an ancient language, and we are going to talk about Polish grammar, which is the example of the ancient grammar. And we've been talking for a long time already about the verb. I talked about tenses, conjugations, and I started talking about aspects. And now we are talking in details about aspects. So I will just repeat that we've got 7 aspects in the ancient grammar, 7 aspects of the verb. Now, the aspect is when you want to express like how the action is done, or the state, how is it done, or how is it, what's going on exactly. And I already talked about the jednokrotny, wielokrotny aspect, non-repetitive, repetitive, or continuous, simple. I talked about dokonane, niedokonane, perfect, imperfect. I talked about czynny, bierny, active, passive, and I talked about współczesny, uprzedni, which is simultaneous and chronological. And I talked, I talked in Polish, and today this is the English video about personal and impersonal, and we still have 2 left to talk about. Now today it's all about personal, impersonal aspect, and it shouldn't be too difficult to explain. So, as with all the aspects, we've got a pair, either that or that. It's an alternative. Either it's personal or impersonal, just like before it was perfect or imperfect, finished or unfinished. Here I said aspect, osobowy, nieosobowy, personal, impersonal. And we've got those possibilities. Now, personal is what we talked about already many times, because personal is just those options, those schematas of conjugations, simply. So personal is when we've got a person. We've got a person who's speaking when we use conjugations. So it's a first, second, or third person. And so we say I, you, or he, she, or in plural, the same. So that's personal. So personal is when we talked about the conjugation 1, meaning aspect, because the aspects join, of course. I already said that the aspect here, active, can be joined to continuous, or to simple, or to perfect. And all that can be joined also with personal, because when something is in aspect continuous and active, it is also personal. I mean, it can be not, but it can be. And when it is, we've got all those forms of conjugations. So, for example, for the word palić, which is continuous, jednokrotny, we've got 4 aspect personal and aspect active. We've got the forms of conjugation 1. Palę, palisz, pali, palimy, palicie, palą, in present. In past, we've got paliłem, paliłaś, paliłem, paliłeś, palił, paliliśmy, paliliście, palili. In past, I did male gender. But that's all personal, because we've got persons. 1, 2, 3. And it can be difficult in English because you kind of throw out the conjugations basically, but you still have some. Meaning that, for example, you can say for the word palić, which is smoke, I smoke, you smoke, he, she smokes. And you've got conjugations because I smoke is just like you smoke, but he smokes, it's already a conjugation form because you've got the different ending. And that's personal because I smoke, you smoke, and he smokes or she smokes. That's a person. 1, 2, 3. And in plural, you've got I smoke, you smoke, he smoke, they smoke, and not I. We smoke, you smoke, they smoke. You conjugate it, in fact, just you don't have the different endings. Yeah, so, and in fact, what I said now, it was basically simple aspect. So it would be more conjugation 2, I smoke, you smoke. But for the conjugation 1 for you, that would be continuous. So I am smoking, you are smoking, he is smoking, and it's all different because the verb be is very different. You say it's irregular, but in fact it simply has got a good conjugations. Every form is different, proper to each person. Anyway, aspect personal is all that we are all those forms. Here I say OB because in Polish it's osobowy, meaning personal, and those forms personal are here. Those are those long forms, meaning 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 6 forms for 3 persons in singular and 3 persons in plural. Conjugation 1, conjugation 2, conjugation 3, right? So I guess that should be quite clear, and I put it here that personal, osobowy is just that, koniugacje, conjugations, and it can be czynny, active or passive, but all of them are personal, because when you even have the aspect passive, the passive aspect is here, right? Here is the active aspect for conjugations, and here is the passive aspect, but still we've got the persons, because we say, for example, let's take something simple, a simple aspect, passive. When I'm saying jestem palany, wypalany, or the cigarette is smoked. The cigarette is smoked, but this is a third person, and we have a person basically, but you can just use anything else. You can say I am smoked because I am fire, I am smoked, right? Or I am a cigarette. You are smoked. You can use any other verb, of course, okay? I am cleaned, you are cleaned, he is cleaned, and it means that there is a personal aspect. And it's conjugated. So when you've got the conjugation, so in fact at the same time here, for example, you've got aspect simple, here aspect active, and aspect personal, and and imperfect. All right, so just like I said before, the aspects join. Some aspects may just not be there, be not included, right? But most of them, you've got this pile of aspects, and you choose this or that, this or that, this or that, and then you've got your expression, your verb, in a full form. Now, what about if we've got impersonal, meaning we don't know what person is doing what. So that would be here. Nieosobowy, impersonal. And I wrote here what are the forms. So again, we still have we still have a czynny bierny, meaning active and passive. We can still separate it in active and passive, and those forms are just forms. We don't have conjugations because how we could have them? We don't have persons, 1, 2, 3 in singular, 1, 2, 3 in plural. We don't have it because we don't know what is the person who's doing the action. So we just have one form for the verb, usually, for the aspect, right? So, for example, in Polish, we've got one form for the aspect impersonal, which is at the same time passive, and which is at the same time continuous. So there is one form, and it finishes with ono. For example, palono. In English, for aspect continuous, passive, and continuous, passive, and impersonal, that would be I guess you really use the neuter. In English, neuter, since you don't use neuter it much, in fact, you don't, well, you use it, but you exactly use it for impersonal. When you want to say that something is impersonal, you just say it's it. And you can do it because you don't include it in genders. In Polish, we've got genders, so when we've got persons, there's a male, female, and neuter. It can be person, right? It can be an object, or it can be a child. So it's neuter, and we say it, or we say to. That's it in Polish. And in English, you don't have neuter. So in English, neuter replaces impersonal, because in Polish for impersonal we just use here palono, which would basically be the same like smoked, without anything attached. We don't know who, we don't know what's the person, we don't know what is the pronoun, so we just say palono. Somebody who, we don't know who, palono, smoked. But you wouldn't say it, you wouldn't use it, because in English it's purely impossible. That's why I always say it's not economical. Sorry, it's not the shortest, the simplest, and the most economical language, English. It's just an illusion. You cannot have the pure verb. In Polish, I can say palono, right? That's it. Smoked. It makes my statement, my sentence, and it makes creation. All right? It can be. In English, you have to say it was smoked, basically. It should be in passive, or it smoked in active. And that would be for aspect simple. So basically maybe for palano. For our aspect simple, passive, impersonal, continuous Polish is ono, palono. Passive, impersonal, that was continuous. Simple would be palano for the verb palać, and passive, impersonal, perfect would be ento, termination, so palnięto or sprzątnięto. Those are three endings for passive, and you use, I guess here for continuous you would use it was being smoked, maybe, kinda long. It was smoked for simple, palano. It have been smoked for ento, palnięto. It have been smoked. Sorry, that's 4 words. We've got one. And here for active impersonal, we use in fact the pronominal structure, if I'm correct, and I hope I'm correct, because now my computer crashed and I don't have my previous video editor, so I'm just using some other on the Windows, and now I gave the laptop to be for the reparation, so I'm just going to use the computer of my child, and there's again another video editor, I don't know what. So I'm sorry, those additions are not really perfect now. And I cannot put titles or anything, or put the on the screen the picture. It's impossible in those. Okay, anyway, in Polish we use, I think it's pronominal, meaning, and I'm using itself, I'm using pronouns. And in Polish we would say się. For example, when I want to use aspect impersonal, aspect active, plus active, okay, impersonal, active, and continuous, for example, continuous here, I would say pali się in present, meaning it smokes, you would say. So again, you would use, you would say rather it's smoking, because it's continuous. You use it, neuter, which we cannot use, right? But we use here the pronominal structure, we use się, pali się, itself. It would be in English exactly, it would be it is smoking itself, all right, by itself. And here, simple aspects, so active, simple, impersonal, it would be pala się, wypala się, meaning repetitive. So in English it would be smokes, it smokes repetitively, right? But yeah, and this would have to be in the sense that we don't know what is it, right? Or it smokes by itself, right? We just don't know what it, some unknown it, and it's it's unclear in English, because there is this person, in fact, it's it, or however you don't have neuter, so well. And for perfect, active, and impersonal, that would be in Polish palenie się or sprzątnie się. Like we often say that, oh, sprzątnie się, meaning, oh, it will be done by itself, right? In English, it's, it will, you need to use perfect. It will, and it's perfect, so it has to be present and future the same, in fact. Kinda you don't have the same, but it's it will be done, maybe. I don't know in English. Anyway, it's in Polish it's palnie się, sprzątnie się. Now, how to translate that in English, into English? It has to be aspect perfect, so it must be, I guess in English it should be done with have. It has to be active, and it has to be well, I will just look at what I put there because I've got this table. Okay, anyway, I will just tell you in a moment when I invent that, because I didn't think about that earlier. I just want to show you where it is. This is the table of the verb. Right here it's palić, palać, palnąć. That conjugation. Conjugation 1, 2, 3, and the conjugations, those are personal at the same time aspect. So here is personal continuous, personal simple, personal perfect. Now here, just under it, we've got the forms for impersonal. And it says NB, here I wrote NB, which is impersonal. When I will be doing the book for translation, I will put some information in English, right? But now I don't have it yet. Anyway, here it's palono, and here pali się, paliło się. All right, here, for example, because in impersonal aspect, in active can be conjugated by tense, by time, right? So it can be pali się, it's smoking, it's present. Paliło się, it was smoking by itself, right? It's past. It will be smoking, aspect continuous, active, right? It's for the future. But in passive, we don't really have that, because how we could have that? It's smoking, it is being smoked. You could have it in English, maybe, but we don't have it in Polish. We just say palono, and basically it's already, it looks like it's already past. But I don't see any other form. All right. For Polish, I guess there is no. It doesn't change according to time. Well, that's my form. However, when I was writing my grammar, I left that topic open. The topic of impersonal. Because it's a kind of difficult topic, and this is the only form for impersonal passive that I can think of. Palono, palono, palano, palnięto. Different for conjugation 1, 2, and 3, but that's one form. It doesn't change according to tenses, to time, right? Past, present, simple. It's just one form. But I guess that's it. It's shorter today, a little. And you've got all those forms here. Here it's ono, ano, ento, the endings for passive, and here is for active, and it's pronominal structure. Pali się, pala się, palnie się. All right, that's in Polish. And in English, we usually have it with a neuter, it. Yeah. All right, that's it. And now we are left with two, I hope, simple aspects. And then we go to modes, so it will be already syntax. And remember that the language creates our world. Bye-bye.